And to that piece of lieutenant that's always on his podcast, bash us, him.
New York City, military-aged Ecuadorian male rapes a 13-year-old girl in Center Park in Queens. This is not the New York City that we want to see. This is absolutely vile and disgusting. This is at a point where everyone should be upset with the migrant crisis, the illegal aliens. What is it really? It's military-aged males that are occupying New York City and taking advantage of the freedoms that they have because it's now a criminal-first society. Migrants suspected sexual assault of 13-year-old girl in New York City Park, now in NYPD custody. We have had enough. This should be enough. This is the fine line. This should be a limit for everyone.
Again, New York Post, Joe Marino, David Proper, you failed to report once again. This individual is not a migrant. He did not come here looking for work. This is an illegal alien, a military-aged illegal alien from Ecuador who in broad daylight in a New York City park, the safest big city in the world, according to New York City Mayor Eric Adams in the upper echelon of the NYPD, took a knife, took their two 13-year-olds into the woods, a male and a female. He tied them both up with shoelaces, and he made the male watch. He made the male watch as he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl and traumatized her for the rest of her life. Not only her, her community, her family, her parents, the young boy. These people came here. There are a lot of people that came here not to work. They don't fall under the pretense of migrant. Migrant means you moved from town to find work, to work legally, not come here and commit crime. So New York Post, all of you out there using the term migrant, every reporter, every independent reporter, anyone on mainstream media, you fail. This is on you as well.
Yeah, it's pretty much misinformation at this point to actually refer to them as migrants. We need to refer to them exactly what they are. They're military-age males. And for the most part, there's every reason to believe that they've come here with training. The Venezuelan males that carjacked an off-duty armed New York City police officer clearly had training. This Ecuadorian military-age male may have some training. If not, he's a complete deviant to tie up two young kids and then to make this young kid watch the 13-year-old girl get raped. This is sick. This is a complete deviant. It's obvious that he was not wanted in Ecuador, but he made his way to New York City. And yet in New York City, it's a sanctuary city. And by Mayor Eric Adams, he's wanted here. Maybe he's got swimming skills. Maybe he could become a lifeguard. But where he belongs is in prison. But he definitely should not be in this country. Never should he have stepped foot in the good New York City and the freedoms of America.
Absolutely disgraceful. This is the wanted photo of him. And at the time I said he should have never been allowed in this country. Before it came out that he was an illegal alien from Ecuador, I said he should have never been allowed in this country. Never mind our politicians, New York City Mayor Eric Adams should not have given this man food, clothing, shelter, debit cards, money, cell phone. Should not have been able to give an illegal alien our tax money to come here and do what? For what reason are we supporting this? This doesn't make our city safer. It doesn't make our city better. It doesn't make our city more diverse, right? We're the New York City is the diversest city in the world. All you're doing is bringing third world crime. You're bringing third world criminals. And this is the result of Eric Adams incentivizing the entire world to come to New York City. It's also a result of Joe Biden's border policy. And people need to start calling this out. This is not okay. Everyone jumped down my throat when I said he shouldn't have been here. You're jumping to conclusions. No, I'm not. It's clear as day. Look at the photo. It's clear as day he's not an American. One, Americans don't wear those pants. Sorry. That is clear as day. Never seen anyone wearing those pants. You could tell he is not from this country. And now everyone's asking me, oh, how'd you know? Easy. It's called profiling. Profiling works. We need to start doing a little bit more of it.
Well, that's the experience of doing intrusive police work. I understand behavioral indicators. We understand characteristics. And what do we always talk about? We preach, and I preach as a special operations lieutenant doing plainclothes intrusive work, is a baseline. You understand the community that you work in. If you have a pulse for that day, you understand what the baseline is. And this character doesn't fit the baseline here. Clearly doesn't appear to be an American, doesn't appear to be New York City. You could see exactly what you said. The clothing, it does not appear to be a New York City resident. And again, he's afforded all the opportunities, all the amenities to be in New York City because it's a sanctuary city. And I heard a council member say during an interview that, a sanctuary city it's a safe city. Exactly what you said, because of diversity. I mean, this is in Queens. First of all, Queens is probably one of the most diverse places in the entire world. It's the most diverse when it comes to food. You could be on one block in Astoria, Queens, and they could have Mexican food. They have Japanese food, Turkish, and Vietnamese, Colombian on the same block. You could get these various ethnic foods in Queens, in New York City, where you can't get in the entire world. It's so diverse, and he has all the amenities afforded to him to be here in New York City, and he's just exactly, let's call him what he is. He is a complete sadist. He's a rapist. He's a vile human being. He's a cretin of life. He does not deserve to walk the streets of New York City, the Big Apple, the one that Mayor Eric Adams, New York City mayor, calls the brand. He should not enjoy the brand of New York City, but instead he's here, and he's getting to move around in any way he wants. The fact that he has the capability to actually rape a 13-year-old is disgusting. Our kids are not protected right now. They have to face these vile pedophiles because of this crisis going on. And according to that council member during her interview, she said, oh, sure, they deport them after 170 felony convictions. In 2024, how many felony convictions have there been, John? You and I spoke about this.
There's been one, Donald J. Trump. That was the one felony conviction in New York City in 2024. Great job. Great job, Eric Adams. Great job, the media. Great job, the Democratic voters in New York City. Great job to the Republicans for also saying migrant. Oh, not all of them. We support families. We support this. Great job to everyone who's been silent. Great job to everyone who's not ever said anything. You failed this 13-year-old girl. You all should hang your head in shame. New York City should be filled with people walking with their heads down in the streets today and say, how did we get here? Why did we let this happen? Why are we letting our words be controlled? Why are we not standing up for the sovereignty of our city and our nation? Why are we letting this happen?
I was trying to make out what his tattoo is, just to see if it has some type of military inscriptions on it. I think that he has some. What's that?
It's a bull.
That's what it is, right? I couldn't see it that good, but I don't know if that's significant of anything from Ecuador. I'm curious. I'm gonna look into it. But I do think he has some training. I think he's a complete sadist. I think he's vile. I think he has some training that he had the ability to pull this off in broad daylight and actually tie up both kids and understand that these shoelaces would work. Just a complete monster. But again, sanctuary city is a protective city of a criminal society, and that's who's crossing these borders. I recently I traveled. I drove an RV from Orlando, Florida, to California, and I had the most close-up view I've ever had of the border. And I remember speaking to John offline. I said, you know what, John, you have more security at your house than they do on the border. The border is completely wide open, and this is because of democratic, socialist, this Marxist society. This rape, this crime is at the hands of these democratic policies right now. With these open borders, we've allowed these military-aged males that have no business being in this country. They have no intentions of a life here, of building a family or coming here with a family, other than being people that are just waste from their own countries. Either they were pushed out, no one wants them there, or they left because they understand that America is a country they could roam free, and especially in New York City. Not only could you roam free as a criminal, but they will feed you, they will clothe you, they will house you, and they will help you find a job, and they will protect you.
100%. And that's what's going on. We have a mayor who is protecting illegal aliens. He's in violation of federal law. He's in complete violation of federal law. This is Eric Adams on the campaign trail. I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again until people understand it. He is in violation of federal law. He's harboring illegal aliens. He's incentivizing illegal aliens. It is a violation of federal law. Here's what he said at the debate. This is from June 3rd, 2021. From last night's debate, we need to ensure that undocumented immigrants, which means illegal aliens, receive health care and protection. That ICE is immigration, customs enforcement, right? ICE are the people who deport criminal gang members, criminals, people undesirables, people who violate our border, the sanctity of our border. That ICE is never in a position to partner with the police department and to harm them. We also need to make sure we treat them with respect and dignity they deserve. What respect, what dignity does this male deserve? He deserved to be told at the border, if you come back here again, we're going to throw you in federal prison for 20 years. He should have been deported the minute he showed up at the border. And if he came back, we should have thrown him in jail. If not, used force to keep him from coming into this border, like what happens on other borders, right? And that's not happening here. That's Eric Adams. That's Eric Adams. He's saying that this person who committed this crime, he didn't give a disclaimer. He didn't say violent felons. He didn't say anything. He said that they would never partner with the police department to harm him. He's more concerned with that male, with that dirtbag. He's more concerned about him than he is about anybody, than he is about the elderly in New York City, that he is about New York City kids, that he is about the disabled in New York City, that he is about anybody. He puts these people first. He puts illegal aliens ahead of New York City residents. And our own federal government is doing the same thing. Our borders should be closed, and we should seek to deport anyone we suspect of criminal activity. We should deport anyone involved in criminal activity, and every military-aged male. Bye. I think Eric's having a problem with his mic, but
I got it. It came up. It's absolutely right, John. I want to reflect on what you said. John's 100% right here. What did Mayor Eric Adams say? And that's a strong word to say. I always say that. It's very rare that we say something is never or always, but to say never, that there's no exceptions right now, that you never coordinate with ICE. Didn't Tariq Shepard, your Deputy Commissioner of Public Information, say that you're working with your federal partners right now? That's a complete lie. That's more gaslighting to the public. Tariq Shepard, who's the Deputy Commissioner of Public Information, told the public in an interview on a press conference that they're working with their federal partners to make sure that there's better crime and public safety in New York City. And that is a complete lie, because there's nothing in place right now other than it being a sanctuary city. There are no exceptions right now. And from what I heard from that council member, you need 170 felony convictions to be deported from this country. 170 felony convictions. And yet for 2024, the only felony conviction we know of is Donald Trump. So if you're Donald Trump, sure, you'll be deported, but not if you're some Ecuadorian military-age male that has the capabilities and the mindset to tie up two young kids in a park in Queens and rape one in front of another kid. Disgusting, vile. This is absolutely disgusting. I only wish that there was a military-age male walking through that park that was an American citizen that had the opportunity to save that young girl.
So look, I'm going to bring something up on the screen right now, Eric, and I'm going to get called a racist again, and I'm going to be told a million different things. So wanted for assault on police officer on Monday, 6/17/2024. Today's the 18th, so this happened yesterday at 04:20 a.m. in the vicinity of 3870 12th Street in Queens. Two on-duty police officers encountered a disorderly group that threw various objects at police officers, striking them and causing injuries. Again, who are these people? Illegal aliens that don't belong in this country, injuring our police officers. But hey, I should never be in a position to harm them. Oh, and how do I know? How do I know that they are? Because I do. Because you all have common sense. It's not just cops that have common sense. These people are here illegally. Take a good look.
That's absolutely right. And you went back to, let's go back to what you said earlier because of profiling. No, it's not racial profiling. It's profiling with common sense, understanding doing police work, using intrusive police work, understanding behavioral indicators. Look at that. That describes it in itself. And if you can't picture that on your own, well, then you have a problem yourself and you don't want to speak the realities of what's going on in New York City. We have, forget about illegal aliens and migrants. We have military-age males. Why do we use that term military-age males? Because we have young males that have the capability to do harm in this country. That's what we're telling you. And they are. You can't say, oh, well, we have to protect them. Who protected this 13-year-old girl? If we don't close these borders and we don't have a mayor that actually says we're willing to work with ICE and actually a deputy commissioner of public information that actually means working with federal partners, then this 13-year-old girl is the first of many. And that is unfortunate. It's disgusting. Who is protecting our kids? We're protecting military-age males that have no business being here, but we're not protecting 13-year-old girls that has to remember this sight forever. And this young male that had to watch that is disgusting.
It's beyond infuriating at this point. Beyond infuriating. Let's look at the Post cover for today. What's the Post cover for today? Let's see. Open border killer. Today's cover. Alleged El Salvador gang member charged in rape killing of Maryland mother Rachel Moran crossed the border illegally at least 3 times in 2 months before eluding agents on the 4th try. And by the way, he's wanted in El Salvador too.
Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. This goes back to we see the countries right now, these South American countries, Ecuador. We're seeing it from Venezuela. We're seeing it also from El Salvador. We're seeing military-age males that are not wanted by their own country because they're criminalized in their own countries. Their own countries don't want them. But yet in America, we invite them. How do we say we invite them? It's proof that we invite them because we offer them food, shelter. We offer them community. We offer them a debit card. And did we offer this mother help? No. Look at this picture of this mother right now who's no longer here. But we have this savage animal that was able to cross this border at least 3 times. And this mother is no longer here. There's a child right now that doesn't have a mother. And she's an American citizen who needs to be protected. She's an American, not this Cretan thug animal.
Mother of 5, gone. Came across the border 4 times in 2 months. 4 times in 2 months he came here. Absolutely, we're letting in, you're right, military-age males with no family. They're not migrants. I'm shocked. The Post didn't call them migrant because they do it every time. I'm shocked. Right? And you'll hear Fox News, the Migrant. You'll hear it from Newsmax, Migrant. You'll hear it from everybody. Migrant. These people are not migrants. Stop using the term. Stop allowing them to use the term. Say the word. Illegal alien. Say when you see that's another legal alien. They're here. Why are they here? Call your politicians out. We cannot solve a problem we cannot identify. If you're unwilling to identify the problem because you're afraid of being politically incorrect or being politically inconvenient to go against this leftist Marxist agenda that's attempting to take hold of this nation, we will never solve this problem. It will only get worse. It will come to your doorstep. Wherever you are, what, you're fleeing to Florida? You think you're safe? I'm in Florida right now. I'll tell you right now. I bought my family more time. I didn't solve the problem. If I thought I was all good, I would just be chilling in Florida. I'd be here at the beach every day. I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I wouldn't be talking about all the issues that are happening in New York. The reason I do that is because I know it's going to spread like a virus. All of this. And you see it here. I see it here. I see these conservatives in Florida. They have no idea. They have no idea what's going on, the politics that are happening in the halls of their schools and their city councils and their assemblies. They have no idea what's happening, what their Congress members are doing. They're not awoke to the fact of what this nation is happening. We're having cowardly men who are afraid to stand up for their children, who won't call things what they are. We used to tell the truth in this country. We used to tell the truth in New York City. We used to have men who are unafraid to give their opinion regardless of who it offended. I don't know where all those people went, Eric. I really don't.
You know what? I actually think you could actually title this, You could title this article here in so many different terms. You would forget about open border killer. You could title this politics kills mother of five. Politicians kill mother. Democratic policies kill mother. Coward Republicans who refuse to say anything, stay in silence, kill mother. Because that's what's going on. That's why I find myself, and I think you agree, we find ourselves in the middle, especially for myself. I don't no longer, I definitely don't find myself on the left as a Democratic socialist, but I don't see myself on the right either, because these Republicans are just quiet and silent right now. And this cowardice is allowing stuff like this to happen. I find myself in the middle. I just want us to be back to America. You're right. What happened to talking about the truth? And instead, we're protecting policies. We're protecting politicians. We're protecting radical ideology, but we're not protecting this mother. I look at this picture and it breaks my heart, because there's 5 kids out there right now that need a mother. And this military-aged male needs nothing other than prison. He doesn't need food, shelter, because there's nothing that can reform this animal. This animal wasn't wanted in his country, and he sure as hell shouldn't be wanted here.
You know, I don't even identify myself politically anymore. I'm a registered Republican in Florida. I was at one time a registered Democrat in New York. I was then a registered Republican in New York. I got so disgusted by the Republican Party in New York, I became an independent right before leaving. But then again, when I came to Florida, the politics have a little bit more common sense, a little bit more clarity. So I registered with the Republican Party. But I think Ronald Reagan said it best. There is no left or right. There is only an up or a down. And right now, the entirety of these blue cities, these blue states, and even some of these red states we see are headed in the downward direction. And I am not aligning myself with either of them. I'm aligning myself with let's get back up. Let's actually make America great again. That statement is much bigger than one man named Donald Trump. Let's bring back America to where it needs to be. Let's bring back the sanctity of our borders. Let's restore our laws. Let's restore common decency. You know, it's unbelievable the lies that were allowed to be told and the lies that are setting hold into this country, into every mouth, into the mouths of the so-called conservatives, into the mouth of the so-called back to blue people and the law and order guys, the lies. And, you know, I read this quote a long time ago and it always stuck with me. It was from Solzhenitsyn, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And he said, let the lie come into the world. Let it even take hold, but not through me. And I think that's what we're doing here. Here it is. You guys say whatever you want to say, but we're not going along for that ride with you. You guys are headed on a downward spiral, and I'm not going there with you. We're not going to go there with you. That's it.
Well, that's why I say to the people out there right now, if you're against stop, question, and frisk, if you're against intrusive police work, if you're against broken windows, look at this picture and think again. Look at that picture of that mom right now, who's no longer alive right now. If intrusive police work was supported throughout this country, then maybe these military-aged males that have seeped through this country because of these open borders, because of these weak policies, maybe those men would have been stopped. And who are those men going to be stopped by? By other military-aged men of New York City Police Department, of other police departments throughout this country, by alpha men, males with those masculine traits that could stop these males right now. Because these males in this country right now, they're trained. And we need our police officers in this country. We need the most training applicable as we can get right now. Because we're not just facing men that have fled their country. We're facing men that fled their country with training. I am a firm believer that they have trained. These things are happening in broad daylight. An off-duty police officer with his firearm was able to get carjacked. That firearm was slapped out of his hand. These 2 kids were able to get tied up by someone during broad daylight. These people are trained and they're on a mission.
Absolutely, 100%. And all of this is a politically created crisis. It's not just because of the voting. It's because of the inability, the weakness to tell the truth. It's the inability and the weakness and the cowardice to hold your elected officials accountable. They work for you. They have no problem demonizing any profession, any corporation, any police officer, any firefighter, any EMS. They'll sit there and they'll play by play everything you should have did. But God forbid you say something back to them. Why are you afraid to talk to your elected officials? Why? I've been doing it for 3 years. What? Oh, we're on a list, Eric? Oh, Eric Adams put us on a list? I don't care. Take the list, take a picture of it, write it down, frame it. I could care less. This is the truth. You know it. That's why we're on the list. We're on the list because the things that we're saying make sense. The things that we're saying are the truth. That's why the upper echelon of the NYPD hates this show so much. It's not because if we were saying ridiculous things, nobody would pay attention, right? They wouldn't care what we were saying. Those two are idiots, right? Why do they care? Because it's punching them in the gut because they know it to be true. They know that they're cowards. They toss and turn at night, and on their deathbed, they will regret the last 10 years of this administration, of these Marxist administrations, and going ahead and demonizing this profession and making New York City unsafer for everybody. Making this city unsafer for everyone. Oh, I have kids on the job. Yeah, well, you made it harder for them. You made it harder for them. You got kicked out because you're an old white man, because the NYPD has a great crime fighting profile, but it has a poor image profile. Its image needs to change. We don't see the youth. We don't see the diversity, right? That's what Eric Adams said. And you have old white men sitting there going, oh, but my kid's on the job. Really? You just basically put your kid in a box and said, yeah, don't promote him ever. Don't promote my kid ever. Don't worry about it. Demonize my kid. He's responsible for the ills of society in the entire world for the last 1,000 years. It's all his fault. The white supremacist New York City and New York City Police Department, who's a majority minority and has been for years, they're the problem. My son's the problem. That's what you did. You made the job worse. You made the city worse. Your disgrace is all of you. Absolute disgrace.
Well, actually, if you look at the history right before Mayor Eric Adams, I think NYPD was far more diverse than it is right now. It was actually encompassed all ethnicities, encompassed all colors. It was the most diverse police department in the entire country. I don't know what the data is right now. I would argue it's probably not. It's majority right now black and brown. It's actually majority black. 54% of the majority of the police department is black. Is that diverse? We had black, we had brown, we had Asian, we had all different type of ethnicities within the black culture. We've had Liberians, African Americans. We've had Hispanics from all different Hispanic nations, all different types of whites. I mean, I don't even know who the white man is. I don't even know if I consider myself completely white. You know, I'm Jewish. You're Italian. I really don't even know what white is at this point. But it's absolutely ridiculous. But Mayor Eric Adams is just a complete epic fail to protect these military age males. It's disgusting. It's vile. It's all down to politics, and politics is hurting public safety. It's not helping us. It's hurting this city. It's hurting this country. Mayor Eric Adams, he's at the focal point of it. He's an epic fail. I can't wait till his tenure is over and we get someone else in his place.
But Eric, you're just a blowhard, bro. Eric Adams support. I think we just lost. Did I come back? Did I come back? I think I just bugged out over there for a second. All right, but you're not seeing that, Eric. You're not seeing that this administration supports the rank and file of the NYPD. They support it so much that this is who Eric Adams endorses. He endorses Ron Kim for state assembly, who, by the way, the PBA, for once in their life, got it right and endorsed this person's opposition. Right? They endorsed the other guy finally for once. No, I'm shocked they didn't give him money. I'll check the campaign donations to make sure he didn't get some money. But look what Ron Kim has to say. This is who Eric Adams endorsed, 11/11/2020. If we defund the police, who will enforce the racial hierarchy and economic inequality, all disguised as social stability? Oh, wait, we can fund schools, free colleges, housing, and actually confront white supremacism and economic injustice by deconcentrating wealth. Tax the rich. Eric, what do you think about Ron Kim and his buddy Eric Adams endorsing him? Does that sound like somebody that the mayor of New York City should be endorsing? The former NYPD police officer with nine arrests to his belt, Eric Adams? Is that someone who he should be endorsing?
Well, I'm not surprised because it's Eric Adams. Eric Adams is a complete empty suit, and exactly everything that you and I say, he's for and against whichever works for him in that particular moment. And the cops that are out there that say that Eric Adams supports them are feeble-minded. Just look at this. If Ron Kim supports defunding the police, and Eric Adams supports Ron Kim. Well, guess what? Does he support you as the New York City police officer that's out there right now? The things that he says are not the things that he does. Wake up for my New York City cops that are out there right now. Mayor Eric Adams is not on your side. He's not for you. He's actually against you. But you need to wake up and you need to see through the red tape and understand the silver linings of what's going on here.
So let's just break this statement down. If we defund the police, so he's saying if we defund them, who's going to enforce the racial hierarchy? So what he's saying is the NYPD is a white supremacist organization. They go into black and brown communities to harm them. That's what he's saying. And they keep you poor. They're the state-sponsored brutalizers, right? And we disguise it as social stability. That's what Ron Kim's saying. So if Eric Adams supports Ron Kim, guess what? He doesn't support you. Guess what? His water boys who are wearing the same uniform as you or who have their made-up custom uniforms with highly embroidered, those guys, they're just holding the water for Ron Kim ultimately and Ron Kim's base of voters. That's who they support. I don't care if they say that they're Trump supporters. I don't care if they say strength and honor on their coins or on their Shopify stores and anything else, or they have coins with themselves on it. Absolutely narcissistic losers. Their legacy is a legacy of failure. It's a legacy of weakness. It's a legacy of cowardice. This is absolutely disgusting. He goes on further, Eric, in a bunch of other tweets to say that we should abolish ICE. We should abolish Vice. Vice, for those of you guys that don't know, Vice does enforcement of prostitution, club enforcement, racketeering, gambling, things of that nature, right? Vices, right? Alcohol, things of that nature. So he wanted the NYPD to abolish Vice and defund the police. And the reason he wanted to abolish Vice is because he wanted them to stop arresting sex workers. Who are sex workers working for? Sex traffickers. So Ron Kim supports sex trafficking. Eric Adams supports sex trafficking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't say that that's why it's important. When you watch this podcast, remember this moment, take a picture, take a screenshot of Ron Kim's statement that he's defunding the police. Take a screenshot that he supports abolishing Vice from the New York City Police Department, which ultimately targets sex traffickers who traffic kids, which should be important because most of us have kids and we should support kids. And if Eric Adams supports him, we can't say, well, maybe he's ignorant to that fact and oblivious to it. He should do his homework. If he supports Ron Kim, he supports Ron Kim's ideologies.
So let's take a look at another one of Eric Adams' good friends. Let's see him. The Bling Bishop Lamar. Let's see him. Bling Bishop Lamar. Eric, if you hear me, back out and jump back in. So Bing Bishop Lamar Whitehead gets 9 years in jail. He was just sentenced yesterday for stealing a New York City woman's retirement fund. He takes her fund, uses the money to buy himself. See the meme that we made? It's picture after picture of Eric Adams and him. Picture after picture of New York City Mayor Eric Adams and him hanging out. Lamar Whitehead actually said at one point, in sum and substance, I don't remember the exact words because I don't want to be held to the exact words, but more that he could have Eric Adams meet with whoever he wants, and he was it was alleged that he was selling access to Eric Adams, and he said it was because of Eric Adams that I made all of my money. That's what he said. And here you go. It shows you clear as day. Eric Adams, good buddy, Bing Bishop Lamar. This is who he hangs out with. This is who this man is. He actually made up a fake company and said that he was working with the NYPD to bring up black youth. And when Eric Adams was asked about it, what did he say? As a black man, I have an obligation to mentor other black men. that had negative encounters in their lives and other people in general, New York City Mayor Eric Adams said in July of 2022.
Hey, sorry, brother. I had a glitch. My computer went out. Anyway, we're back. Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. Just shows the circle of Adams. And I always say, your circle is a reflection of you. You are who your friends are. So Eric Adams always says that he's a man of honor. He's the man of New York. Well, look who his friends are. And that's who Eric Adams. That's who Eric Adams is. Think about it. Would you allow people into your home that are people that do not support your ideologies? No. You are who your friends are. And Eric Adams has some sketchy and some shady friends in his circle.
100%. Before we go, I just want to do the reality versus perception portion of this show. Things we're not allowed to, and on the things we're not allowed to talk about podcast. Let's talk about the reality versus perception. It's not perception versus reality. It's reality versus perception. This is from Reza Chowdhury. If you don't follow him on X, you want to see statistics. He's another Sam Antar. Him and Sam go back and forth all day. These are statistics pulled directly from the NYPD. He doesn't make them up. He puts them in his own graphs without arbitrary time periods and all of the other nonsense that they put it in here. We're taking a look at Bronx violent crime in the 42nd precinct from the year 2000 to 2023. Eric, what does the reality tell you in this photo?
Well, I love playing this game, perception versus reality. And I guess the New York City Police Department loves playing with us, too, because they go back and forth. And thank God we have friends like Reza Chowdhury and also Sam Antar that actually speak the truth. They're fellow truth tellers. I actually just put a tweet out saying, hey, thank you, fellow truth teller. They're putting up the reality. The reality is, you see the data right here. Crime is up. But do you really need to see the data? We speak to people and we hear the concerns. Most people right now are completely uncomfortable. They don't recognize New York City. It's not the New York City they knew that experienced the flourishing from the inception of Mayor Giuliani and also the continuation of Bloomberg and the intrusive police work that was going on in New York City. Crime is up right now in New York City. Do not let Mayor Eric Adams and his useful idiots and his upper echelon of the police department gaslight you and distort your perception, because your perception is reality of what's going on in New York City. It's out of control. We have a crime wave right now that's connected to protests and rallies that are happening on a daily basis since October 8th after the heinous acts that happened in Israel. We have military-age males that are occupying the city. They rob and carjack off-duty armed police officers. They rape 13-year-old girls, tie up kids. We have military-aged males that are involved in 80-some-odd robbery patterns of scooters. They are encompassing this city right now. We have campuses that are being taken over. We have lawlessness. We have women being punched in the face unprovoked. That's what we have in New York City right now. So this chart is a small reflection of what is actually going on in the city. But the perception versus reality, the truth is New York City is a mess right now. New York City is a mess under Mayor Eric Adams. It did not get better after former Mayor Bill de Blasio. In fact, it got worse.
100%. Violent crimes up. This is just a small snippet, but it's a good chapter in the story. It's a good piece of the story. This is what violent crime looks like throughout New York City. It's just, he's just showing you here in the precinct, in a black and brown precinct, by the way. We were told that these progressive policies would have helped, these anti-police legislation, this pro-criminal legislation would have done better for black and brown communities. It would have made them safer. And what you see here is a clear straight line up from 2018 all the way up and surpassing crime where we were at in 2000 levels. And crime was pretty damn high then. So you're seeing a complete failure across the board. We haven't even put the great force multiplier in here, which is the crime stemming from illegal aliens that we're told is non-existent, that we're told that they commit crimes at a less rate than Americans do, which is a complete lie. You see it every day. Just go on NYPD's news, go on NYPD's website and look who they're wanted for. Look who they're wanting. Look who they have wanted flyers for. They don't look like to be Americans to me. So you're putting a force multiplier in a society that had a big crime problem already. I mean, we're headed for disaster here. Anything you want to say before we wrap up, Eric?
Yeah, I think it's time people open up their eyes and decide which way they want to vote. if you're a Democrat at this point, you should be tired with these policies and say to yourself, you know what, a 13-year-old girl was raped in a park because of open borders, and a mayor that supports the sanctuary city and said that he will never coordinate with ICE, and his deputy commissioner of public information, who rose to the top by rocket fuel in the police department as a commanding officer for the 2A precinct, and who did nothing in his career, but now he's an action hero and dresses up with ESU gear at press conferences, are just having fun. They're addressing their own egos. They're taking pictures, but they're not addressing you and public safety. The real problem right now is these policies. We have to protect Americans. If you're so on the right and you're Republican and you're just staying quiet, that's cowardice. We need people to speak up. This is an information war. John and I speak out. We speak out on this podcast. We speak the truth. That's why we receive opposition from the public. We receive opposition for those that have their egos driven. That's why there's a list out right now. That list should be called Attack on Egos. That's what we're doing. We attack their egos, in their opinion, because we criticize their policies. And their policies are just perpetuating more crime that is out there. I've had enough. You have to go somewhere down the middle. If you need to, go independent. But you have to support policies that support America. I don't want to see 13-year-old girls getting raped. I don't want to see a mother of 5 lose her life to these savage animals. Again, John said it. Yes, it's profiling. Profile these military-aged males that are committing crime that are here from Ecuador, Venezuela, other countries, El Salvador, that have military training that could hurt this country. This is a form of terrorism. Open your eyes now, open your ears, and stop keeping your mouth closed. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. You need to start making some noise.
Absolutely. And put your glasses on, keep listening, and we're going to show you Eric Adams and his appointed water boys and how they continue to pretend to get stuff done.
Law enforcement professionals dedicate their lives to serving and protecting our community. But who's protecting their financial futures? That's where Laidlaw Blue comes in. Our wealth management platform is specifically designed for the law enforcement community. Laidlaw Blue is a division within Laidlaw Wealth Management, run by retired New York City detective John McDermott. His status as a retired detective uniquely positions him to establish a deep connection between Laidlaw Blue and the law enforcement community. Our platform is easy to use and provides a range of financial services, including investment management, retirement planning, and insurance solutions. With Laidlaw Blue, you can secure your financial future and provide for your loved ones. Our team of experienced financial advisors understands the unique challenges and opportunities that law enforcement professionals face. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning and achieve your goals. Laidlaw Blue. Secure your financial future today. Book a meeting using the QR code displayed or call us directly on 888 901 Blue. That's 888 901 Blue.